So, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Consulting Masters, on behalf of GCC Graduate Consulting Club of the Universities of ETH Zurich, University of Basel, and University of Zurich, hopefully I'm not mistaken, we would like to warmly welcome you to our exclusive event. And the objective today is to help you and solve together with you a very nice but lovely profitability case. Yeah, we basically we're supposed to have to host this event together with Vlada Mikhailova, who is the president of this club. But yeah, we already have here Vinay from GCC Consulting Club. So Vinay, can you maybe also warmly welcome the participants and tell a little bit more about yourself and GCC.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, hello everyone. So Graduate Consulting Club is the consulting club in Zurich. So students who are interested in pursuing a career in consulting are the members of our club, and with our activities, we try to facilitate your journey from the university to a career in consulting, and we do this in quite a few ways. So we have Monday case workshop, which happens every Monday evening between 7 and 9. Andre actually was there at one of our Monday case workshop, I think at the end of September. And you gave us a really nice introduction to what a case interview is. You also did a mock interview. So I'm really happy to join this session as well. So other than this, we also have, we partner with many consulting companies. So we have events with different consulting companies who have a presence in and around Zurich. So you can join the partner events to talk to your potential employers. We also have the consulting services. So that's the department that I had, and we call it the Bridge program. So to bridge your your skill set from academia to consulting. And here you do our members actually get together, and in groups they do a consulting project for a client, and the client could be a startup or an NGO in Switzerland. So the whole project lasts 8 weeks, and it happens every time at the beginning of the semester. So actually we have in this session Christian, who is the project manager of the current Bridge program there. We have a really cool NGO from Lausanne who are into solar panels on agricultural fields. Really cool. So yeah, definitely if you're interested, please join our activities as well. And again, Andre, I thank you very much for organizing this event with us. It's a great opportunity for us and all the members of GCC to to learn from your expertise and your experience of already being a consultant and also being a recruiter before, and now in this new role in consulting masters, you actually help students get into consulting. And we are happy to have you as a partner, and thank you very much for this event.
All right, thank you very much, Vinay. Let's get it started. And I want to give a pass to my team member, Anton Belakov.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Anton Belakov. I'm your moderator for today's event. And today we have a case workshop in collaboration with GCC. And today you're gonna figure out how to solve a profitability case. So let's get what are we gonna have today in the agenda. We are having a quick introduction. I'm gonna tell you more about Andre Homulenko, our coach. Then we will have this profitability case simulation where you will find how to do it, feedback next, and some next steps. We will also have our Q&A session at the end where you will be free to ask your questions. You can raise your hand, you can turn on the camera, and let me please introduce you. André. He's our coach. He had huge experience in consulting companies. He used to work for Roland Berger, and for the past 8 years, he's been a part of interview recruiting team. Sorry. And he had passed to like more than 100 interviews with the candidates for top consulting companies. And for the past 6 years, he's been coaching people and helping them to get into the top consulting companies. And now, maybe if you don't mind, we would like to know each other better. You guys, can you please write in the chat where you're from? Maybe 2 words, city, country, for those who haven't had the chance to introduce yourself. It will help us know each other better. Let me start. I'm now based in Lisbon, in Portugal. Where are you from? We have Ukraine here. Great, Anastasia. Vietnam, Georgia, London, Italy, China. Wow, all around the globe. Italy, Poland. David from Italy. Lebanon, Mikhail. Switzerland, Sina. India, Zurich. Nice. Germany. All right, even Australia. Christian from Australia. Wow, all around the globe.
Must be pretty late over there. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Thanks for being here. Great. And yeah, of course, also Andre is from originally from Chernihiv, Ukraine. Yeah, now based in Bern. All right, Newcastle, Munich, Ryan from USA, Leonor from Portugal, Hassan, London, Turkey. Oh my God, it's 5 a.m. Christian. Thank you so much for joining us. Lovely having you here. All right,
a good way to start your day. All right,
yeah, perfect.
Yeah, guys, just tell us then why you're here. Why did you decide to join this webinar even at 5 a.m.?
Especially you, Christian, please. Like in a few words, why are you attending this webinar? What are your expectations? Learn more about consulting as a career.
Yeah, it's because Vlada asked me to do this webinar for you guys. That's my motivation.
To get some insights into how to crack the case interview. Nice. To see if consulting is the right thing for me. Great. All right, thank you. I would like to learn how to approach the case study. You will. Find community to practice more, change ideas and experiences. To see
ladies and gentlemen, do you maybe have also a particular question? What specifically would you like to know about consulting or recruiting process? What would you like to learn during today's session? Maybe you could specify this, then we'll see how we can accommodate this. Okay. And please also tell us, what's your dream company?
Michael said he wants to be comfortable with solving a case. Doing a triple career jump, changing industry, position, and geographic location for SAD.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah. Triple jump. Some pro tips specifically in profitability case from Susan.
All right, let's go then straight to this. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please turn on your cameras and raise your hands? Maybe do you have any volunteers? Anyone from you who would like to solve the case together with me? Because it's always more useful if we have someone, 1, 2, maybe 3 person who do this with us together, like face to face, and maybe the others are supporting and doing behind the scenes. Anton, do you see any hands? Because I can't see.
I can. Oh, now I see Susan. Yeah.
Susan?
Yes, Susan, please.
1. Yeah, maybe anyone else? Yeah, Sharing or Alex. Okay. Yeah. While we are still waiting for the third brave person, maybe it could be a man, just to make the quarter right. Susan, can you also briefly introduce yourself, because we have already spoken with Alex.
Okay. Hi, nice meeting you guys. So I also was a consulting club member before. Worked with Vlada and Vinay here. So happy to join with you guys today. Right now, I'm also kind of practicing cases with different people from the club, preparing for interviews. I studied engineering before and later changed to strategic management. So let's see if we can solve a case today together.
Do you have any upcoming interviews?
Yeah, some I had some before, but more in the planning.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, then let's rock the stage, I would say. So do we have any third volunteer? Or people are too shy? All right, yeah, nevertheless, I mean, we can start with 2 and then we'll see how it goes. But you guys feel free to write your answers in the chat or write your questions, and Anton will help me to moderate this one. So we will then start the case together with Susan and Alex. All right, so I have a question to you. Are you ready? Ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's imagine that my name is Michelle. I'm a project manager at the company of your choice. I don't know, let it be BCG or Bain. Yeah, let it be BCG this time. And you are playing yourself. You are the candidate. And I'm interviewing you from Zurich office. So you have a video conference. Okay, ready to go? We're now in the year 2016, not nowadays, so it was still before COVID. And your client today is a regional bank, retail and private bank in one of the European countries. And it is facing a difficult situation. Basically, its profits have been declining due to their ongoing low interest rates, which were set by the European Central Bank in the past. And further, it is suffering from the decreasing number of customers. And the board of directors is also worried about digitization, whether the bank is adequately prepared for the digital age. And they're wondering, they have requested BCG team, and you are heading this team, to help them out, address all these concerns and develop the means for sustainable profitability increase in the coming years. How would you go about that case?
Yeah. So maybe let me rephrase the question a little bit. We are working for a client who is a regional bank in private and retail sectors, and then based in Europe. And now they're concerned about the decreasing profits and losing customers. And moreover, there's concerns about the digitization in the future. So we want to come up with a sustainable solution to tackle these problems. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Is Sharon also having any questions?
Is there anything to add?
No, I'm just I'm actually just, grasping and gaining as much as I can. So if you
Okay.
need
All
me
right.
to contribute at some point, let me know. But yeah.
Sure. I mean, I need you both to contribute. I need you
Uh-huh.
all to contribute, actually. All right. Sounds good. So Susan, or Alex, let's now play with you, Alex. Yeah. Do you have any clarifying questions? Any questions that you would like to ask before moving to the structure?
Okay, just one looking at the case.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Alex,
You
it's
go ahead.
your
I'm looking
turn.
at the case.
No, Alex, it's your turn. You are my candidate. Or do you want to be kicked off the process with BCG?
No way. Just
It's all real now. Okay, Alex, you are out. Susan, you go.
Yeah, so I have maybe one question related to the interest rates. So I guess with the interest rate set by the central bank, maybe in the coming years, it won't be much changes that we expect, or would it be like some expected changes by the central bank in the coming years that we need to consider?
Well, we are now in the year 2016, so since the last financial crisis, 2008, especially after 2010, we have decreased, the Central European Bank has decreased their low interest rates, and it has been the decade between 2010 and 2022 when the interest rates have been kept extremely low.
Yeah.
Any other questions that you might be asking?
Yeah, maybe also about the decreasing number of customers. Is there any information on how our competitors doing, like how the private bank is like in around Central Europe, in the whole industry? So are we doing relatively better or worse than our competitors?
Well, I don't have the information about our competitors, but in fact, a significant amount of customers has been leaving the bank over the past at least 5 years, or yeah, 5 to 10 years, I would say.
Okay. So maybe do we have?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a reason.
Anton, do we have any other questions from the chat?
Yeah, we actually have a raised hand.
No raised hands for the moment. Just questions from the chat.
Okay, we have the very first question was from Michael. Is there any additional info you would like to tell us? Yeah, that was like a very general.
Not at this stage.
Not at this stage.
Next question.
Well, the interest rates are sky high now, so maybe
not relevant question. Next question.
Not relevant. Review revenue sources first. Why the number of customers decreasing? Has the bank analyzed this?
Good question. Yes, we will be sharing this information while we will be going through the case. Any other questions?
What are the prominent reasons for customer attrition?
That's exactly the same question. Next one.
Their profitability target, they ask.
Oh, I have been waiting for this question because in my opinion, it's the first and foremost question that needs to be asked at this stage of the case. It's basically, if we are talking about profitability, what is our target? So what should be the objective profitability, and by when? So by how much shall we increase it, and within what time frame? So the interviewer, I as Michael, I would tell you, Well, we would like to maximize the profitability of our bank and to revert the trend as much as possible, as fast as possible. Any other questions? Oh, by the way, guys, I see that Anastasia is sharing the links to my social networks, so feel free to follow me or Consulting Masters in either Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Especially if you are watching this video online, then put us a link, I don't know, a like, leave your comments, and recommend this to the friends and subscribe to the channel if you would like to keep in touch. All right, any other questions?
Do we have information about the clients' demographics that are leaving the bank?
That's also a very good question. That could be requested and shared during the during the case. All right, good. Seems like there are no other relevant questions. Then Susan, Alex, and everyone else, could you please take a moment of time, structure your thoughts, and come up with a structure to crack this case? So guys, work on this. You have not more than 60 seconds.
How would you go about this case? Okay. Number of customers.
I have recognized that there is our client here, Julia Oshorek. Julia, hi. I would also like to hear how do you structure the case. So feel free to turn on your camera. Let's see how you are advancing. All right, Susan, are you ready? What do you have?
Yeah, so maybe a quick thought that I can share at this point. So I made it like a relatively simplified history tree. So we start from profits. Maybe like quickly show the camera here. So then I split the question into the number of customers and how much money we can get from each customer to simplify the problem. So then we can either start working on the increasing the number of customers, or maybe have more revenues from each existing customer. So with the customers, you can further break it down into maybe keeping the existing customers and try to recruit more new customers. And for the revenues from the profits from the customers, you can achieve that by charging higher prices for our existing services, or maybe introduce new services so that we can have more product to offer. So maybe we can have some more information on like the customer base we have, like you said, the demographics, or like the existing services that we have, to see which direction we can go into.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Susan. Any other aspects that you might be thinking of?
Also,
while Susan is thinking, Alex, what's your structure?
Honestly, I am new to this, so I'm actually trying to learn from you and understand how we
Okay.
go about
All right.
building a structure. And
Does anyone else has a reasonable structure and would like to try? Feel free to turn on your microphone or raise your hand so that at least I can first see you and give you the word. Marcin Roganovic. Marcin.
Yes, yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, just briefly introduce yourself
Okay.
and then we can start.
Yeah, so my name is Marcin. I'm from Poland. I'm also the member of Graduate Consulting Club. Yeah, I'm trying to get to know some people, train cases, participate in the bridge program as well to learn how the consulting works. Yeah, see if this is the thing for me and be prepared for the interviews in the future. So.
Bardzo dobrze, Marcin. There you go.
Okay, so I did like a simple, I structurize the tree into internal company issues, external competitors and regulations. Within internal, I would like to tackle things related to our offer that we give to the clients and also the structure, our internal structure of the bank. I would like to see which group of the people are we losing and why, and also how we are making the revenue as the bank, on which parts exactly we're making revenue and which part is our biggest revenue source. Then looking at the external competitors bucket, I would like to compare our offers with other bank offers and maybe their structure. And the third bucket of regulations, I would like to know what are the possible regulations for the future from the states, from the European Union. So basically, I would be focusing on, since we are losing customers, why we are losing customers. So basically, what also is our internal structure of the bank. Maybe we are not efficient enough and we are making wrong decision. I mean, it's just the general thing.
Where would you like to start the case and what kind of data would you request me, Michelle, as an interviewer?
I mean, I would definitely, since we are losing customers, I would like to request the data of what kind of customers we are losing, what group age, for example. Also, they were afraid of the digitalization. That's why I asked about the internal structure of the company. Maybe we are not efficient enough. We are not getting to the customers, where maybe marketing is not working correctly. So all these things but if you ask me of data, I would ask on how we make revenue, what are our main revenue points, and some data on our customers, which groups are leaving us, basically, according to age, wallet, something like this.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for this, Marcin.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other volunteers or any other thoughts? Guys, I give you 5 more seconds. Otherwise, we will proceed. But then moving on with Susan and Marcin. All right. Seems like no hands here. So basically, quick feedback. Susan and Marcin, you together have pieces of information, but probably you, Susan, have just focused, like your structure is very fragmented. It's focusing purely on profitability, which is the first and the most important issue, which is really good. So it addresses the first and the most important issue about profitability. But the problem is that it does not address at all the issues with clients and especially with the digitization. So therefore, the interviewer will already know at this particular moment that you are not passing the interview. By contrast, you, Marcin, you're focusing greatly on the second and the third problem, basically on the reasons for customers leaving the bank and on the digitization issue. But you are almost forgetting about profitability issue. So you will not pass neither. But if we combine you both into one approach, that could work, hopefully. All right, before we move there, I have a question to you, Susan, to you, Martin, and to everyone else. Generally speaking, what could be the reasons for profits decline on the high level?
So not enough
Martin?
people not enough people borrowing money from the bank and the low interest rate that they charge on the customers.
And if you look at it from the top-down perspective, a little bit even higher from the higher level than you currently are.
Like lower margin because of the cost is higher than before.
Yes, why? We are getting closer. Yeah. Any other ideas?
Inflation.
What are profits, generally speaking?
The revenue minus cost.
Yes. And if we're talking about revenues or costs in profitability, what might be happening to them? If the profit, if profits is the function of revenues and cost minus costs. Yes, Marcin, tell me.
So either our costs are increasing highly, or our incomes, our revenues are decreasing. Yeah, so maybe one, maybe both.
Precisely, or maybe even all together, because it could be basically 4 types of the reasons: decline in revenues at constant costs, or increasing costs at constant revenues, or increasing costs and declining revenues, or even a greater decline of revenues than of costs, if we see it from the dynamic perspective. And that's now your structure, basically, ideally, to solve this case, should be focusing on these 3 issues. And this is like the ideal issue tree, which you can build on later. Number 1, addressing the first issue, profitability analysis, where you go deeper into revenues and costs and you segment them. So you have overall profitability development for the last 10 years, which you will request. Then segmented by revenues and costs, and revenues could be segmented by several revenue streams, as well as costs, to see structurally where the problem really lies. Then second part of that's what Susan was talking about. Then second branch should be focused on the customer retention. That's about the reasons for customers leaving the bank. That's about customer segmentation. That's basically all what Marcin was talking about in his structure. And the third one is digitization. So basically, what does digitization mean? It has 2 hands. On the one hand, you have front end, basically the solutions like digital offerings, digital products, digital channels, how the client is communicating with the customer. So front end is everything what is visible for the client, and back end are all the processes that are behind the scenes in the bank. Okay. By the way, Anton, please help me if you see any comments or questions in the chat. Feel free to interrupt me because I cannot follow this simultaneously. Okay? All right. So let's move on. And Susan, you want to drive profitability analysis. You requested me for the data, and let's imagine that I gave you the following information. That's a product overview where you could see volume, revenue, costs for the years 2005 through 2015 for 5 different product categories. So what do you see? Can you maybe tell me, as a candidate, how would you go about this exhibit as an in a real interview?
So like by first look, you see 5 different products that we offer. So we can, on this dimension, check the differences in revenues and costs for these 5 products. So for example, in 2005, you have portfolios as the highest profitable product per transaction. So, but then you need to also cross-check with the volume to see which product has the biggest profits. So you can have that information from the 5 products, and then you need to go across the timeline from 2005 to 2015 to see which products we are actually having the decreasing or increasing profits, to see which areas we can maybe work on in the future. So more relevantly, we can look at 2015 because we are at 2016, so that's more relevant now also. So we need to maybe do a quick calculation about which products are more profitable at the moment and throughout this 10 years.
Okay, yeah. All right, Marcin, how would you analyze this exhibit and how would you drive the conclusion?
So comparing here 2005, 10, and 15, we have different products from our client and amount of the service, let's say, revenue for unit, I guess, and the cost, the unit cost. And so first thing we can see that in comparison 2005 and 10, in 2015, the volume of every of the offer of the product that we have goes down. Yeah, the most differences maybe for fixed deposits, 1,500 to 1,100, but all of them we are decreasing amount, yeah, of the products that we are selling. Yeah, the revenue seems also to go down for every one of them, and cost seems for me to go down a little bit as well. So I would say that the problem with profitability for us is that, yeah, again, that the cost doesn't seem to grow, our own costs. The revenues, because maybe of the prices, or I don't know, the revenue is going down, and the volume of sold goods, let's say, is going down. So that's how I would analyze this data. So it's not about the cost, seems to me.
Marcin, great insights. Exactly. Guys, would you like to know how would the real consultants go about analyzing this exhibit? What would he or she tell it? Just put a plus or say yes into the chat so that we can see that you are following the discussion. Okay, perfect. Yeah, indeed. Marcin, that was very close to what the real consultants would actually say about it. So the real consultant, if I were still in the interview, I would do the following. So I would say, Susan, first of all, thank you very much for sharing this information. I can see that this exhibit reflects the product overview for the years 2005, 2010, and 2015 for 5 respective products: saving accounts, check accounts, portfolios, fixed deposit, and call money. By the way, do you know what is call money? That will be something that I will ask the interviewer, because I don't know what call money is. And here we can also see the graduation by volume, revenue, and cost for these years. So what I can generally observe is that between 2005 and 2010, the volume has been more or less the same or even slightly increasing in some cases, but between 2010 and 2015, the volume has dropped massively and has become even lower than of 2005. So all in, for all 5 product categories, the volume has dropped, for example, from 1,000 to 800 items for saving accounts, or between 900 to 700 for call money. What we can also see is that the revenues have been decreasing, as well as the costs, which is interesting, but it seems like the profit margin has been decreasing. Profit margin, I mean revenues minus costs, because if we used to have 10 euros for saving accounts of profit margin in 2005, in 2015, we only have 8 euros, and this problem is constant across all the product categories. So based on this, I can't say that there is a structured product problem in any particular product. It seems to be an overall trend that we are losing the volume and we are losing the profit margin, while both revenues and both costs are decreasing, but costs, the decrease of cost cannot compensate the decrease in revenues. So it's interesting. Therefore, I would like to focus on the first aspect. Do we have any data to better understand what's happening on the volume side? That's how I would drive this discussion. Remember one thing. If you are given this information, no matter what the exhibit, first of all, you need to explain the exhibit. What do you see? Then you need to bring your insights in the second step, and then you need to do something about those insights, like put them into the bigger picture. So summarize your insights and tell me, okay, what does this mean? What do you see? And what is next? Like, what is your, obviously, the next step? So let's imagine that Marcin basically came to the conclusion, yes, it's a problem on the volume side and problem on the profit margin side. So, and he now wants to analyze the volume, which is directly correlating with the client side. So in terms of clients, Marcin, can you remind us what is the information that you would request the interviewer to share with you to analyze what's happening on the client side?
So I could request the information, if we have it, about maybe how wealthy or how rich are the clients. I think the group age, right? Maybe group age would also help. We can see if these are young, older people. So that kind of information I would ask.
You also mentioned during your first speech about the structure that you would be requesting for the reasons of customers leaving the bank. That is even more important than the age. Mm-hmm. But if you want, we can basically start with the age groups. Here you go, guys. So Marcin, what do you see? And what are your conclusions?
Mm-hmm. So I could see the data that it's showing age structure of the leaving customers divided into certain groups expressed in percentages. And from the data, we can see that the group that mostly is leaving is between young adults, 25, 29 years of age, also 80, 24, 30, 39. And basically, the older the customers are, the less they are leaving. So rather the younger groups, and probably not so rich groups and of the customers are leaving our bank. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm. So okay. All right, sounds good. What does it mean? What are the next steps?
So maybe I would like to ask to see what kind of offers do we have as a bank. You know, maybe some of them are more suitable for the older people rather than the young ones. So.
Okay. All right. Good. Then I would like to share with you this piece of information as well.
Okay, so again, here we have the reasons for customers leaving our bank. Again, expressed in percentages. We are comparing high fees, too few digital offers, slow processes, intrusive offering of products, and complicated online banking. And it seems that so these are all quite prevalent reasons, because even for complicated online banking, like 50% of leaving customers apparently left because of it. Yeah, but we see high fees, too few digital offers, and since our customers also are concerned about digitization, yeah, maybe we can go a little bit into this direction as well.
Okay.
Definitely high fees.
If you are concerned about digitization, what would you like to know? How would you drive the discussion?
So by digitization, I mean the digital solutions. Yeah, I mean both for banks and both for customers. So here I would like to see, for example, how well is the complicated online banking. Almost 50% of customers indicated that. So this is a little bit related to me with this few digital offers. So maybe basically the online banking tool, it's not very convenient. That's why older people are staying with us, since maybe they are not using so much this online tools. They do things more in a traditional way. So I would go a little bit more into maybe our digital online banking website availability, how we sell it and commercialize, how we advertise it. These would be my directions.
Okay. Any other thoughts, either from the chat or by raising your hands? Eva? Oui.
Yeah, so I was thinking with digitalization, you have two parts. You have the internal bank part, which is related to the slow processes and the high fees with them. And then you have the client part, which is too few digital offers and the complicated online banking. And since you probably want a quick solution, I would first focus in the internal part, in the slow processes. Because setting up a new platform, it takes quite a lot of time and you might be losing customers during that process. So maybe first see if there is a way to make the bank more efficiently, which would also reduce the fees then, or reduce the costs.
Okay, sounds good, reasonable. Yeah, any other ideas? Anton, do we have anything in the chat, or anyone who wants to raise a hand?
Yeah, Ashish is asking in the chat, age 18, 20, 24, less income, more transactions, high fees, not suitable. This is his comment.
Okay, but that's not the question, or not the summary.
We have
all
some
right,
raised hands.
Giri.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something, just the idea, because I'm thinking simultaneously with you. So I was wondering during the analysis why we didn't mention about the sectors, what kind of sectors these people belong who are leaving, whether this is agro sector or this is some production or something else, so we could completely
look, we're talking about retail and private banking. So we're not talking about SME, small medium enterprises. So we're not talking about businesses. We are talking about individuals. So we don't. This question is not relevant.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
That you would like to add?
Yeah, but I would like to bring some other ideas as well beside that. So we are talking about the cost is also important when we are talking about the profitability, right? So when we are talking in general for the country where the interest rates are very very high. So the key in this point would be bringing some international funds which could bring much lower interest rates, so we could use these lower interest rates to decrease our cost and eventually to
sorry, stop. Just probably get yourself familiar with the financial system first. You have two major players, which is Federal Reserve System in the US and European Central Bank in the European zone. So there is no fund in the world that can compete with them. They are simply the two regulators, one for the US dollar and the other one for euros. So therefore, it doesn't make sense. All right. Anyway, thanks for trying. Daniela Dora.
Okay, thank you.
Daniela, it would be nice if I could hear you. Sorry, I still can't read from your lips. All right, we have some technical issues with Daniela, and while she is working on her audio, Marcin.
Yeah, maybe just one thing that comes to my mind, since we have to drive the case. So maybe since we discuss customers and we have this high fees and two digital offers, maybe further we can ask for the data. Exactly what are those fees, what kind of fees we have, or what kind of digital offers we have, and how we compare to competition. Since customers are leaving, that will be something that I would ask maybe to drive the case. I'm not sure if that's correct.
Well, generally speaking, if I was a consultant, I would be after having a look at this picture, I would be trying to understand better our offerings and how do we distribute, how do we communicate, how do we interact with our clients. So mostly focusing on the front end of the digitization, which will bring me to the next exhibit about customer interaction a day on average, where we have different channels. So, Marcin, what do you see on the graph?
What do I see on the graph?
Please drive the discussion. It's still an interview.
Okay. So we have again, customer interactions per day on average for the years 2005, 10, 15, and in the industry for outlet, email, telephone, online banking, websites, and other.
By the way, guys, if you have any insights, feel free to drop them in the chat so that we can refer to them later on.
We have a question from Daniela. It's actually related to a previous slide.
I'm not sure if you hear me now.
Yes, that was better.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I mean, I can also speak it up, I guess. So my question was regarding this group that are leaving, like, so the young people, and I would like to see whether the bank has any solutions for this targeted group, because, I mean, if you could target this group, then you probably will get some kind of revenue anyway, right? Even if it maybe you make it slightly cheaper, but then you have more clients.
Thank you, Daniela. I don't have any data to share. That would be the interviewer's answer. Yes, Marcin. So, what do you see, and how we move on?
Yeah, I'm a little bit. It's strange to me. 2005, 10, 15, and then industry. I'm not sure a little bit with this chart.
Industry benchmark. So competitors, basically. We compare. So it's an overview of our general distribution channels. Retrospective for the years 2005 through 2015, the development in gray, in light gray, and then in dark gray is comparison with other industry players.
Okay, so it seems that within this time, Yeah, maybe someone.
All
will
right.
help me
If
on that.
anyone wants to drive the discussion, feel free to raise the hands as well. Yes, why?
Yeah, Agnes. So in this graph, it shows across the years what our bank offering via channels versus the industry offering. So we can see that what we are kind of strong in, let's say outlet, we are better than the industry. However, like in other channels like email, online banking, website, even others, we are way lower than what the industry is offering. So what is telling me somehow is what the other competitors offering is very different from what our bank direction is. So that might indicate the customer wants something different from what okay, let me rephrase. Let's see. It seems that the industry offering something very different from what we are offering. It might indicate that the customer interest is different from what we are offering.
Okay.
That's explain the profit.
Yeah, good observation. Good one. Anything to add here?
Maybe I would like to dig into more the other, because that seems quite a high numbers, but we have nothing around it. That can maybe a growth area we can look into.
Yeah, absolutely. I have been waiting for this insight because you should have asked basically the interviewer, can you tell me what is other? Because it seems that a substantial amount of the market is focused there. And the other is nothing else but mobile app, which we don't have. All right, amazing. Then I would suggest let's move on to the next exhibit. What do you see here? Wait.
Oh, sorry.
Hope.
Okay. So in this exhibit showing the percentage amount of deal close, again, our offerings compared to the industry. So it's kind of telling it's a point of sales, if I understand correctly, how we make our deals happening. So we can see that, again, outlet makes a lot of our sales coming from, then followed by telephone and email, but very few on online banking, website, and others again. And so I can derive the insight is what we are putting an effort in the outlet is not where the industry is offering. I would look into more what we are missing, like online banking, website, and the others again here, which means we are not offering where the customer are trying to go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. What about the next one?
And here the table shows the profit per deal closed.
Branch is the same as industry. So it's just the last column for you to know.
Okay. So here it shows that per channel over the years, how much profit we made compared to the industry. And just to quickly look at it, that we can see that our main income from the outlet, for example, the profit across the years declined significantly, more than 50%. And even though if the benchmark is the same, which means that we lose profit from it. And looking at the others, let's say benchmark from the industry, we are comparable for our outlet and telephone, but again, we significantly lower profit than email, online banking, website, and others, which I think is really just synchronized with the previous exhibit, which we are not strong in those channels. So we are really like losing profit because we don't have the income from those channels.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
If I was a real consultant, or if I were in your shoes, I would also try to quantify basically in order to came up with a calculation of what could be the revenue potential. Like, I mean, we used to have in the outlet, we used to earn 50 euros, and now we are earning last year just 20 euros. So it's a profit decreased by 30 euros. Then on email, we are earning 6 euros, but the industry is earning 35. So we have 29 euros of potential. A telephone, we are in the benchmark. Online banking, we do 2 versus 25. So we have 23 euros of improvement. Website, we do 2 out of 15. And yeah, other or mobile banking, we do 0. So we have, that's like the one of the biggest layers, definitely, where I would drive the discussion forward. But unfortunately, we don't have that much time. So therefore, I, as Michael, as an interviewer, I would kindly request you, you, Martin, you, Daniela, you, Susan, and everyone else in the room to think about the CEO of the company is coming in 3 minutes, let's say. And I would kindly request you to prepare your final recommendation for this case. All right, so please take your time, review what was the case question and case objectives, and come up with a recommendation which should be no longer than 90 seconds, basically, elevator speech. And while you are doing this, I think that my team has shared some information again with you. Oh, yeah, so it's the links to the website and basically to our social media. So feel free to follow us online on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. To keep in touch for the further events or acquire any additional information about our services and about consulting. Anyone ready and wants to raise the hand? Martin, what do you have?
Yes. So I would summarize it in the way that the client asked us how to deal with the situation of
I'm CEO, I'm your client. I already know what I'm requesting.
Okay. So my solution would be to focus on the digitization, mainly on offering to our customers more mobile possibilities, making better website and putting more attention and developing online banking, because these are the biggest problems for a company. If we compare ourselves to the branch, we are losing a lot of money on this. This should, in my opinion, increase the amount of the customers that are going apparently to another banks. Of course, there are some risks related to the solutions. Mainly the first one would be that we may not have the know-how. So it will take probably some investment from our side, which is also always a little bit risky. But we can always try to see how other companies are doing that, gets specialists in online banking and digitization in order to solve this problem. So again, I would go to increase amount of the customers again. I would focus on these 3 things: mobile, websites, online banking. There are some risk related, but it's definitely worth it, in my opinion, to increase the revenues.
Okay, all right. Interesting. Thank you very much. Wei?
So CEO, so we have discuss this case, we tried to analyze the problem with 3 layers. First, about the profitability. We saw that it's not mainly is driven by the decline of volume. And because of that, we look into the customer segment. We look at why we cannot retain a customer. We saw that the main group lost is the younger group. So then we also look at their preferences. We found out that mainly because the current bank offering probably not matching what the market are offering. So the industry, there's a mismatch between what the industry looking for and the current customer. And that is kind of causing them, we cannot retain them. And third, we look at the digitalization concern. So we saw that from the profit per deal for channels, there's also some missed opportunity for the company we should look into. For example, some channels that we never touch on, like website, email, and the others. So I would look further what we can offer based on point of sales and also product that for our potential increase of revenue and profit.
All right, good, thank you. Daniela.
Yeah, so I think I agree totally, like a little bit like with the previous speakers, and I'm not going to summarize again the whole problem, just quickly.
I want to hear yours.
So
forget about previous.
I said no, just a summary of the problem. I'm not doing that. So the thing is, there could be, in my opinion, a quick fix and a long-term fix. So a quick fix would be that of training the staff, because it seems also a little bit of like people not actively using the other channels, like not pushing the clients to use the other channels. So like they are being more time consuming on like when it's like contacting the clients and so on. And so like one thing that is quick fix, I believe it's training the staff to be more approachable from a digital point of view, like from virtual setups. And then the other thing is like marketing. So like to make it available, like to the clients, visible that there are these services, because they seem to have them in place, that they're just not used. And then a long term, because it would take so much time to like set it up, instead of the mobile solutions or other digital products. But this probably needs a longer strategy, like long-term strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Daniela. Anyone else would like to try? Susan or anyone else?
Yeah, I can quickly summarize my thoughts. So to tackle our 3 main problems with decreasing profits, losing customers, and improvement of our digitalization, I think there's 3 points we need to address. So first, we see from our product offerings that we have decreasing volumes in our transactions over the past 10 years, with also decreasing profits in each category, especially with portfolios. So that's what we might want to take a closer look on. And secondly, we're losing customers mainly from the age 18 to 49 years old. They take account like 80% of our losing customers. And that leads to our third point with digitalization, because these age groups are highly relying on digitalizations and new and like online offerings. So with online banking and websites, we are actually falling behind with our industry average levels. So we need to work on the aspects in the online banking and websites mostly. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, Susan. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Very good. Actually, a good recommendation. Okay, cool, guys. Would you actually like to know how I, as an interviewer, and my colleagues used to assess you as candidates in the past? Like which criteria we applied when we were sitting in front of the candidates and having a conversation? Or what do you think? Just put yourself in my shoes. If you were an interviewer and you would be assessing a candidate in an interview, what would be the criteria that you would use? So, for example, how can I distinguish between, shall I take Daniela, Susan, Wei, or Marcin to the next round? What would be the assessment criteria? What do you think?
Asking the right question, structure the thoughts, and be confident.
Okay, yeah, definitely that's part of it. Yeah, any other thoughts? Marcin, you raise your hand.
Yeah, I would say that coachability. So once we have some problems, how well we deal with the case after being given some small advices or help, if we are able to go on. That's what I would value as well. Not always we know everything, but if we can do something with the help we got, that's a plus.
Yeah, to a certain extent, I agree. But if I have 10 candidates and I need to select 2 of them for the next interview rounds, I would go for the 2 best ones. So any other ideas about criteria to assess? Daniela?
I was thinking also like when someone, for example, depending like on how their solutions are, like if their solutions are really creative, or if it's like following a standardized way that could be taught or something like this. So more like on their flexibility of mind, like how can this adapt their solutions to a different problem? So, and how creative can they be?
Okay, all right. Yeah, good, thank you. Guys, would you like to know the secret? Would you like to know what happens behind the scenes and what the real consultants actually, what's the methodology that they apply to assess the candidates?
People are excited, Andre.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, sure. Then I will just quickly reveal this for you. So, when I was interviewing people, we apply very structured approach and the following methodology. So, of course, there is a part for personal fit part of the interview, which is also equally important and equally big. But as for the case, we were assessing 4 key parameters. We were basically having a look into analytical skills, critical thinking and problem solving, as well as creative thinking and diversity of thought and ability to learn, which is coachability. Creative thinking has been, and diversity of thought has been addressed by Daniela. Yeah, but it's also very critical to assess whether the candidate can think analytically and especially critical thinking for the problem solving. So, for example, how does the problem is structured? How does the candidate does hypothesis? How he or she can generate insights? And it's all about driving the case. So that's why I was a little bit pushy on you, because I am in the seat of the interviewer and you are the candidate. You should be driving the discussion. My role is to play a future client of yours. So if you are a future consultant, I'm your future client. Therefore, I give you the task and I'm paying you money. And sometimes it's up to 2,000 or 3,000 euros per day that my company pays to your company for your work. So my expectations are pretty high. That's why you need to be in the driving seat. And I really want you to understand this. That's very important. Yeah, and then I'm basically assessing you to a very simple parameters from 1 to 5. where 1 is exceeding my expectations and 5 is below my expectations. So therefore, I would say, okay, for example, analytical skills, margin, somehow maybe between 2 and 3, critical thinking and problem solving was 2, creative thinking and diversity of thought was 1, ability to learn was high among all the candidates. So therefore, the average would be between 2 and 3, but there will be definitely the candidates out of 10. If there were 10 people whom I have interviewed, there would probably have been other 1 or 2 candidates which will be like star candidates, and therefore they will go to the next interview round. So I hope, does that all make sense to you? Is it interesting, yeah, and useful to understand the interviewer's standpoint? Yeah, I just wanted to showcase this to you. All right, then if that was interesting for you, I'm pretty sure that the next part of the content will be interesting as well. I just want to quickly summarize that we are helping students, MBAs, and young professionals like you guys through all the stages of the process. So whether it's from the very beginning with defining your application strategy and approach, through polishing your documents, to even help you get a chance for a real interview, because actually 90% of the resumes will be simply outscreened if they are not good ones. And especially through polished CVs together with your networking efforts, according to our methodology, you can really guarantee yourself an interview invite with the most prestigious companies. And then what we do, we usually help and train people for the interviews, give the end-to-end guidance, and help sometimes even with offer negotiations, and help you to become outstanding consultants and pass the probation periods, as well as simply get your salaries, raises, bonuses, etc., all that stuff very high, and to get promoted faster. So we do provide comprehensive advice on both application, interview prep stage, as well as the real life consulting stage. Yeah, we also offer quite a lot of interesting video courses for self-preparation on every of this material, whether it's application strategy, documents review, networking, case parts, consulting interview prep, or personal fit part of the interview. And what we have just covered today, so for example, we do have specialized courses where sessions with our experts have been recorded, since it's not only me in the team, but we also do have other experts who used to work with BCG, McKinsey, Bain, and Kearney. And I used to work with RB and been recruiting candidates for DACH region, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Eastern Europe, and the Middle East. So we have combined all our expertise to help you to really get ready for the interviews, because being invited for an interview is already a big deal. But only actually 1 candidate out of 10 will get an offer. So therefore, it's really competitive, and you need to be very ready and very, very polished in order to make it to the bar. So my team will now share some of the links. For example, you can visit our website, check everything online. Also see numerous video testimonials from our clients, because we have, up till the dates, we have helped roughly 600 clients, and I myself, I have more than 6,000 hours. I don't know. I actually stopped counting at some point of time. During my time at RB, in fact, I interviewed 115 people in different regions. And yeah, so therefore, I want to share this knowledge with you. I want you to benefit from it. And no matter whether it's help with your application, personal feed part, case part, or whatsoever, or you need career advice, feel free to get in touch with us. And if you are really interested in consulting, I actually even want to give you a gift because I want to do something for free. You have a chance to apply for a strategy call with one of our experts in the team, which will bring you a lot of clarity on where you stand, what you need to achieve, and how to actually achieve this, where one of the experts will analyze the situation together with you, align on your objectives, and give you all the clarity and advice. In order to do so, feel free to send your CV to us, to customer.service@consulting-masters.com. And we will be reaching out to best candidates who really have the chances for consulting upon their applications, and offer our service and support. So feel free, use this chance, send the email to us with your CV and your brief motivation, and then let's start work together. Georgie is already looking towards to hearing from many of you. And I also want to recommend you to subscribe and hit the notification button to our YouTube channel, which you can find as Consulting Masters, or simply by following the link here from the chat, because over there you will find quite a lot of useful material which we are posting on the daily or weekly basis with useful content, with our customers' experiences, with the recordings of all the previous webinars. So there is a huge database even for free, which is available for you. And therefore, simply subscribe to YouTube and share this video, leave a comment, put a like, or hit the notification button if you like it, and share with your friends. And yeah, we will be more than happy to help you. I'm also looking towards to answering your questions, so feel free to raise write them into the chat. But maybe just the last one thing is every week we do special events, and next week we actually want to talk about consulting myths and consulting reality together with you, and we want to answer your questions about consulting application process or whatever you might be thinking about it. So it's going to happen on next Monday, 21st at 19 o'clock. And if you visit our website, which will be now appearing in the chat, you can register yourself for the link. Yeah, and now we are heading towards the Q&A session, so feel free either to raise your hands or to write your questions here, and also share some feedback with me, like how did you like the event, how did you like the case, if there are any questions. So I'm looking towards your discussion. Let's start with Wei.
So just call me Agnes. But thanks, Andre. I think the section is great. I really enjoyed it, especially when you say, no, this is irrelevant. I think we also need to learn from that. I have a quick question. When you were in the section of jumping between the exhibits, usually can we ask for like a, I don't know, 30 seconds to organize the floor, at least do some quick calculation before, or in that scenario that, for example, what I'm trying to do, is not that good to ask for that? Just better just jump a bit and then do a calculation in your head when you were seeing the numbers.
It depends. You will be having the interviewers which will give you the time, but you can also get the interviewers which will not give you, who will not give you the time. So it could be both, basically.
Should we always ask for that?
But it will be a wiser idea if you would request for some time. The interviewer can always say no, but sometimes they will give you the time. So therefore, request for the time if you need it.
Thanks.
And about exhibit, remember one thing. So tell the interviewer what you see, do the calculations or generate insights, and tell the interviewer what do these insights really mean, and where would you like to drive the discussion in the next step.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you too. Wait, by the way, great participation and great summary. My compliment.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions in the chat or any raised hands? Gibby. By the way, how did you guys like the webinar? How did you like the case? Maybe some sort of...
So Andre, I wanted to talk about that. First of all, I want to tell you thank you very much for this really amazing case analysis. It was very, very, very good and a lot of insights. So that's why my question would be, I'm really wanting to find some other case solving cases, or I want to ask people who are involved here. So maybe you have guys somewhere a chat or a WhatsApp group or something where we could just meet and exchange ideas, or even to meet each other and not to bother Andre for all the time to help us to solve the question. So we could at least do the quick interactions and discuss very small cases, or just exchanging ideas, anything like that, where we could interact more frequently rather than just occasionally just one case, because this case is really good, right? So we need to do this kind of stuff. So on a lower level, not involving Andre all the time. So I was asking, we don't want to bother you on a daily basis. So maybe someone has this group or any other.
Yeah, sure. I mean, by the way, Gibi, thank you for your feedback and for your question. I did not present it here, but we also do offer services with the real community. So where you become part of community in our so-called VIP programs, where you can practice also cases together with other members of community who are preparing for their upcoming interviews. We help them to organize quite a lot peer-to-peer sessions, and you can learn from others. So we have created a context which is really productive, where you can work together with all other people across the globe who are applying to the leading consulting firms, MBB, Tier 1, Tier 2, and come together with them under our guidance towards your common goal, basically getting a job offer in consulting. So, I mean, I would simply recommend you feel free to get in touch with our team, and you can take it from there.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, good. Any other questions or feedback or appraisals or whatsoever? Raised hands.
We have some question from Instagram.
Okay.
Asking what skills or behaviors do you believe a consultant needs to be successful in this industry?
In behavior, or what was it?
What skills or behaviors do you believe a consultant needs?
Yeah, I would say that this is a good question, most common one. To my, it's my personal point of view. First of all, you need to be a really good communicator. That's number one and foremost, because consulting is a client's business. So you need to know how to handle people. You need to be, a little bit an extrovert in that sense. You need to know how to do stakeholder management, so how to handle your bosses, how to handle your project manager, partner, how to handle your clients. That's first and foremost. Then, of course, you need to be very good in structuring things, in communicating it rightly, because you need to very often convince the people. You need to be also a very good problem solver and quick learner. To grasp the things quickly and break them down routinely. I would say, especially in Germany or German-speaking countries, it would require a lot of discipline from your side. And last but not least, I always recommend to have a good sense of humor, because so many situations, will be so weird. Just enjoy it.
Yes.
All right, cool. Anton, any other questions?
A quite important one. Is German 100% required for application in the DACH area?
In Germany and in Austria mostly. In Switzerland to a lesser extent, but still. So it basically depends on the office and on the position. There are some positions where German is not mandatory, but I would say that knowing German is a huge advantage. And it was not an easy ride for me when I came from Ukraine 2008. And like you guys, you just suffered a little bit from solving a case in English. But imagine that you need to solve the case in German, which is per se even harder as a language. And then the interviewer tells you, like, okay, now let's jump from German, let's continue in English. And then in 20 minutes, oh, let's go back to German. So I thought that my head was like freaking out completely, because my mother tongue is Ukrainian and Russian. And I was thinking like, oh, Jesus, like switching from one foreign language to the other one was a joke. But that motivated me to do 1 year long English-German translation course, where I simply worked only on translations between German to English directly, without involving my mother tongues.
Yeah, because I'm asked to have an interview in German, and I'm like, oh my God.
I can help you to get ready in German for the German interviews as well. Es ist kein Problem.
Nah, you see, große Probleme.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's take it from there. All right, guys. If there is nothing to add from your side, I would really like to say a huge thank you for every one of you participating today. I would like to give a special compliment to the team, Anton, Anastasia, who made it possible, and of course to the GCC society. So thank you very much for joining us. Feel free to join us in our future events or get in touch with our client manager. And yeah, thanks a lot. Have a nice evening and take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, guys.